The New York Jets need a tight end. Well, they actually need two. So they probably should sign one in free agency. We're going to talk about the options today. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today I'll be breaking down some of my favorite free agent tight end options for the New York Jets. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you could follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes drop on this channel every single Monday. You can get the clips from the show on the Just Jets Clips channel, where it's just, maybe you don't want to sit and watch a full podcast episode. I get it. But if you just want the highlights, you can find that right over there. All right, so let's talk about the options. We're going to start in like tier 1 and then get into tier 2. And you'll kind of just see, we'll go through it together. I'm not going through every single tight end, but if there's someone that I miss, let me know in the comments or again on social media. But the first and foremost, there's one guy who stands out head and shoulders above the rest. That is Dalton Schultz. If he hits free agency, the New York Jets should do everything in their power to make sure that he is on their team in 2022. He's just 25 years old, and he is getting better year over year. That's the thing that you want to see from a guy, and that's what we got. He was a backup up until last year in 2020, and then had his breakout year in 2021 where he goes for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's a good run blocker. He's good in short to intermediate routes. And he's improving year over year, which is what you want. If you had to come up with a flaw, like he's not someone who's going to be, going screaming down the field at the tight end position, but I think he's someone who is like a nice safety blanket over the middle of the field kind of a thing and can hold the zone as a run blocker, which in this system, you are going to need to block. The Jets are running a West Coast system. Ideally, they're going to want to, start with running the ball, build their offense off the play action and the passing attack, and having a guy like Dalton Schultz allows you to do just that. And again, as I said here, I would like them to draft a tight end too. Don't worry, we're going to get to draft prospects. We have a long offseason in front of us. I'm just talking about free agent tight ends. And I think he's going to be costly. He's probably going to get 4 years, probably around $12 million a year. So that's like 4 years for 48. I think is probably around where you're looking at, 45 to 48 million, somewhere in that range. But he's a guy who, like I said, improving year over year and is only getting started. So I think he'd be a home run signing for the Jets. The second guy on this list is not somebody that I want to sign. He's someone who I hear his name on social media, in the comment section, or just pretty much about everywhere. And that's Mike Gesicki. And for my notes for Mike Gesicki, I put, does he count ? Because, 94%, yes, 94% of his snaps are him lined up at either the slot or outside. So that, and again, not a math guy, but 6% of the time he is lined up as an inline tight end. He is not a good blocker. I don't see this as a fit for the Jets. I don't. Or maybe say, okay, you sign him because he could help Zach Wilson in the passing attack. Yes, theoretically, yes, but I don't want to pay a pretty much a big body wide receiver to be my slot guy. I don't think that's what the Jets want to do. I personally don't see the fit. Can he be successful in this league? Yes, he proved that already. But in the offense that the Jets are trying to run, not for me. Next guy on our list here, David Njoku. He's only 25 years old. He's been in the league for a while, but only 25. What's good about David Njoku? Really good yards after the catch, extremely athletic. Like, there are times where he flashes and you're like, wow, this guy is just different as an athlete. What he's not good at, he can't block worth a damn, and he's extremely inconsistent. He had a really good rookie year, but then for whatever reason just can't seem to get on the same page with Baker Mayfield. Injuries have played a factor. There were trade requests. It's just, I don't think this is a good fit. I don't feel comfortable offering him a long-term deal, which is probably what he is looking for after spending his rookie contract in Cleveland. Not for me. Again, there is upside here, and if he's in the right system, sure, he could be successful, but I think it's too risky. I'm going to say no also to David Njoku. The next guy on our list here is a veteran, and he's kind of rounding out the high tier, but he's kind of fringing on mid-tier at this point in his career at 31 years old, and that is Zach Ertz. Everyone thought Zach Ertz was done, even myself included, but he put up quietly really good year. 763 yards, 5 touchdowns. What does he have? Great hands, an excellent route runner. He's not a great blocker. Can he survive as a blocker? Yeah, he could survive, but you'd probably need to add a better blocking tight end in here. But Joe Douglas connection. Obviously knows him well from his time in Philly. If you're looking at like 2 years at $20 million, so like a $10 million a year player, somewhere in that range, then okay. I think if you strike out on Dalton Schultz and my other options are Mike Gesicki or David Njoku, I would prefer to take the known commodity of Zach Ertz. Adding veteran presence is okay. I like that the Jets have a young core, and obviously I would like to draft the tight end too, but that kind of plays into my hand here where Zach Ertz can help groom your next tight end of the future. Let's say you draft Trey McBride or Jeremy Ruckert or Jason Ferguson. No, not Jason Ferguson. Is it Jason Ferguson? The tight end Ferguson. I don't remember his first name, from Wisconsin. Charlie Kohler, any one of those guys. I'm intrigued by Zach Ertz. It's not my favorite option, but I am definitely intrigued with him. To the mid-tier we go. Gerald Everett is the first guy on the mid-tier option. He's 27 years old. Originally was with the Rams, then spent 1 year with the Seattle Seahawks last year. 478 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not anything jumping off the page, but you have to remember a large chunk of their season was played with Geno Smith at the quarterback position. When Russell Wilson was in at the end of the year, I thought Gerald Everett was pretty good. He has good hands. He's a really good athlete. His one flaw is he's inconsistent as a blocker, but I would say better still than Gesicki or Njoku for what this team is trying to do. So if you're looking at and you don't want to pay double digits, you'd rather pay like, I don't know, $7 million, something like that, $7.5 million, like a 3-year, $22.5 million contract, then Gerald Everett is probably your guy, and I would be okay with it. Is it, again, my preferred option? No, it's probably like a third or a fourth option in free agency, but again, the Jets have to come away with something at the tight end position. You can't come up swinging empty. So coming back with that is okay, I guess. Next on the list, I'm laughing because it's a no from me. Evan Engram, 27 years old, 408 yards, 3 touchdowns last year. Pass, overrated, banged up a lot. He was good as a rookie, got worse every year since. Yes, he was a Pro Bowler in 2020. That was an absolute joke. Has had issues with drops in his career. No, thank you. No, and I can't stress this enough. No. Mo Alley Cox is next on our list. Great name, by the way. 28 years old. He had 316 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's never had more than 394 receiving yards in a season. He has good hands, and like there are some redeeming qualities to him, but he's just never had the opportunity to be in a bigger role, which again, I'm like marginally intrigued, but I think it's a little bit too risky. Like this is really bottom of the barrel scrapping if you're Joe Douglas at this point, and I hope it doesn't get there, but I think it's too risky. I'm going to lean towards no. How about CJ Uzomah from the Cincinnati Bengals? 29 years old. He's a veteran, 493 yards, 5 touchdowns. This is his best year by a mile. Again, kind of similar to Gerald Everett. He's probably going to be like $6-7 million a year. In that range, sure. If it's getting up, I don't know, because he's coming off a good year, $8, $9, $10 million, I would say probably not. But if you are looking for a mid-tier guy because you're unable to land one of the top-tier guys, I prefer an Uzomah over like Evan Engram, or even the next guy on my list, O.J. Howard. A good transition. 27 years old. My only note for him is overrated. He was a first-round pick. He's the third best tight end on his roster right now. Rob Gronkowski's better. Cameron Brate is better. He doesn't have a role with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he's just not very good. He's extremely overrated. He has the name recognition because he's a former first-round pick, but not a good player. The last guy that I have to talk about is a solid maybe from me, which again, as someone who is trying to give their opinions online, I don't know if solid maybes are really a ringing endorsement, but Hayden Hurst at 28 years old, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns. Obviously that isn't jumping off the page for anybody, but let's remember the team he played for, the Atlanta Falcons. They drafted a tight end 4th overall, and they really used him. Kyle Pitts coming on and being as good as what he was right away is why Hayden Hurst didn't really have the numbers there. But the year prior with Atlanta, 571 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's not a great blocker, so that's probably why I don't think he would be their prime candidate, but there is intrigue there. If you pair him, a Hayden Hurst, with a Jeremy Ruckert or a Trey McBride at the top of the 2nd round, you can sell me on a world of McBride and Hayden Hurst. I think you can do a lot worse than Hayden Hurst. And I trust Hayden Hurst more than I trust an OJ Howard, a Mo Alley Cox, and Evan Engram, or something like that. So yes, Dalton Schultz is the cream of the crop number 1 guy, but there are other options on the list that you could come away with and feel okay about. So let me know in the comments below. Do you want the Jets to go all out for Dalton Schultz? Would you rather them just draft a tight end, or maybe just draft 2 tight ends? Maybe that'll be a video down the line. Or would you rather go for a mid-tier guy? And if so, who? Is there someone I left off this list? Maybe Robert Tonyan. That's someone I left off, but he doesn't really move the needle too much for me. So sound off in the comments or on social media. Subscribe here if you are new, and I'll talk to you next time.